Pasuk Tes. Okay, Parshas Noso. Portion Noso, chapter 5, Pasuk 9. V'chol truma l'chol kodsha b'nei Yisrael. The truma, that's normally the first tithing. L'chol kodsha b'nei Yisrael shakriva l'kohen niyah. Whatever they tithe, it goes to the Kohen. So Rashi over here explains, Omer Rabbi Shmuel v'chi truma b'akriven oso. It seems if it says, Asher akrivu, you sacrifice, you bring to the Beis Hamikdash. Truma is not given in the Beis Hamikdash. The Kohen goes to the granary, and he receives his truma. The Levi goes to the granary, he receives his 10%. So what does he use the term Asher akrivu? V'chi truma makriven alo hu machazir achrei b'beis hagranos. It's something which the Kohen seeks out in the granaries. Matol b'lo Asher akrivu laKohen. Ela bikurim. We spell out the bikurim. These are the first fruits, the first grains which ripen, and this is Shavuos. One has an obligation to bring the new grains to the Beis Hamikdash. And bikurim, the word is bechorim, as bechor is the first. The bikurim is the first of the fruits that ripen, or the grains, the 7 species of Eretz Yisrael. It's given to the Kohen. Shenema bem tovi Beis Hashem Elokecha. The Torah tells us you have to bring bikurim to the Beis Hamikdash. So what do you do with the truma? If you bring to Beis Hamikdash, what do you do with it? So the Torah tells us you give it to the Kohen. After you bring it and you go through the ritual of bringing the bikurim and declaring your gratitude and appreciation for Hashem, this is the pasuk, the verse where the bikurim, because they have the same status as truma, it's one of the gifts which are given to the Kohen. Then the pasuk continues, "V'ishesh kadoshav lo yiyu, ish asher yitei laKohen lo yiyeh." The man, the person who gives the rightful gifts to the Kohen, he will have. What's the inference of that? If you give what you're supposed to give to the Kohen and to the Levi, then you'll have what you're supposed to have. If not, Hashem will withhold the bracha from you. You want bracha, you have to give what you're supposed to give to the Kohen, the rightful gifts to the Kohen. If not, so Rashi, Ish es kadoshav lo yiyu, Lefishin ema madus kun levia yochel yivo v'yitl bizroa. Since there are gifts which one has an obligation to give to the Kohen, to the Levi, maybe he could forcefully take it, the Kohen or the Levi. Talmud lomar ish es kadoshav lo yiyu, meaning that even what you have an obligation to give, you have a right to choose which Kohen, which Levi you want to give it to. Lo, you mean we treat it as if you actually have a financial interest in it. That the owner, he has that right. He has a right to have the benefit of the goodwill to choose whichever Kohen or whichever Levi he wants to give it to. One who withholds the maser and doesn't give it to the Kohen and Levi, lo yiyu hamasros. You know what's going to be? Normally his field produces such a volume. Lo yiyu hamasros sof shetzodeo so elo echad me'asor shoisel limud lasos. His field will only produce 1/10 of what it normally produces. I mean, if you withhold the 10th, all you're going to be left with is that 10th. So therefore, it's a midah keneged midah. You withhold the 10th, because you feel the 10th is yours, even what you're rightfully supposed to get, you're going to get a 10th of that. That's the measure for measure. But the one who gives the rightful gifts to the Kohen, lo yeh moment, he will have the moment. Now it's very interesting. We had the Gemara says that Abaratzim, people from a certain sect, if you would buy grain from them, produce, you'd have to tithe the meiser. Remember we discussed, it was called the Mai, because the sect that was called Amayoretz, they weren't meticulous in observance of mitzvos. They were suspect that they did not give that percentage to the Levi. Did not give it. Because their whole rationale was that Truma, they were very careful. Because if a non-Kohen eats truma, he's liable for spiritual excision. So therefore, they've made sure to take that percentage out of their harvest. But the maser, where the maser has no innate kedusha, it's only a gift to the Kohen. The Amoret said, better that 10% profit should remain in my pocket. I'm not giving it to the Levi. So they withheld the maser from the Levi. But what does it say over here? If you withhold the maser from the Levi, what happens? Measure for measure. Instead of having the bounty, just as you withheld 10%, your field will only produce 1/10 of what it's meant to produce. So you think you're gaining by withholding, but it's the contrary. You're losing. You're losing the bounty because you're withholding the 10th. So because the Amaratzim would actually withhold it, it brought a curse. Now it's very interesting. Chazal legislated that if you buy produce from an Amoretz, you have to take maser. Although the Gemara says Rov Amaratzim Maser Hein, the vast majority of Amaratzim, they tithe their grain, their harvest. But because there was a significant minority, they said if you buy grain or produce from the Amoretz, you have to take 10%. So I mean, it's Tosa's question. If actually throughout the Torah we always go after Rov, you'll go after the majority. So if actually the majority of Amaratzim, of this sect of people, they do take the maser, why did they legislate that you have to take maser? If you buy produce from the Amoretz, that's Tosa's question, Shabbos. Tosa's answers that because there was a significant minority, therefore they legislated when you buy produce from the Amoretz, it's called Demai, you have to take the maser. But still, I mean, the question is still a question. Even if you have a slight majority, we always go after the majority. You don't have to have an extreme level of majority. I mean, we speak of Bittul Barov, or we speak about judges on a court. If you have a majority of one, you follow the majority rule. But yet, when it comes to purchasing grain from an Amoretz, although the majority of Amoratzim, they took maser, but because there was a significant minority who did not, they legislated a special law that if you buy produce from the Amoretz, you have to tithe it. You have to take maser. Why? According to this Chazal, the Rashi is bringing, it's very good. Because normally a person would merit bounty. You withhold the maser, so what's the mida connected mida? Instead of the field producing bounty, you get a 10% of what you're meant to get. Chazal understood the consequence and the ramifications of withholding maser. As a result of that, they said, although normally we go after Rov, but since in this instance, the consequence is so severe, when you buy produce from the Amoretz, you have to make sure that 10% is given. If you make sure that 10% is given, guaranteed brocha. Otherwise, God forbid, it's to the contrary. Rather than giving the 10% to the Levi, all you're going to be left with is 10%. The field, rather than producing bounty, it's going to produce 10% of what it's meant to produce. Therefore, here Chazal legislated specifically, you have to give maser, although normally we'd go after Rov.